going to be looking at task B of your SBA. In a previous tutorial, we completed all the requirements for task A. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to take task A and resave it as task B. So here I'm going to click on my office button, select save as, and I want to save it in the same location, but I want it to be called task B payment number 2. Now this is essential because all the information that is in task A must also be in task B. And so, in order to prevent yourself from losing the information in task A or from saving over the information and deleting task A, you must ensure that you hit the save as button to save it in another name. This will allow you to keep all the information in task A and you are able to work on task B. Let's get started. Task B, you are asked to modify your spreadsheet to show the following data. Now the first one is a new student named O'Neill Golding has been added to the upper school population. The student's fee was paid in full. So the first thing you want to do is to insert O'Neill Golding into your spreadsheet. So I'm just going to insert a row here so that I can do this. O'Neill and O'Neill OG 042. O'Neill is male. O'Neill is in the upper school population, and O'Neill's school fee is automatically selected, and O'Neill selected the e-full payment, got a discount of 10%. Now we need to fill in the amount of money that O'Neill actually paid so far. And remember, he had to pay in full. So we now need to ensure that we collect full payment for O'Neill. Now you'll notice that all these values changed, right, when we inserted that. So that's done. So we want to make sure that O'Neill's, this is nice and neat. Formatting is essential. So let's put in our borders. Let's see what is next to be done. It says the third student, this is important, the third student was unable to meet the requirement for full payment and instead selected the tri-payment plan. You are to make the necessary changes. So let's get back to our spreadsheets. So we're going to be selecting the third student who had a payment plan in full. So here, all of these are by payment. So 1, 2, 3. This person did not select the full payment method, but instead opted later on for the tri-payment method. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this data. You'll notice that this was changed, the percentage was changed as well, right? So we want to make this 0.75 rather than 8. We want to ensure that so we're going to select decimal place, 1 decimal place, make it 7.5. Now this person now, this interest has been added to his amount to be paid. He no longer has full payment school fee, right? So he still owes some money, right? So in this case, because he was unable to make the full payment, then it is only necessary that we change the amount of money he paid for school fee. And so I'm going to change it to say $25,000. Good. So we made this change here, and I just want to highlight it so that you know where our change was made. No, highlighting it is not necessary. I'm just doing it. And at intervals, we want to ensure that we save our data so that if we lose something, if power goes out, we do not lose all that we have. Let's see what else is to be done. Here you are to insert a column to calculate the remaining balances to be paid by each student. Let's get back to our spreadsheet. Now, so we want to insert a column here, and we want to call it balance point. Let's do this in all caps. So it's in balance code, right? And we want to make it nice and neat like everything else. So we want to make sure that we place our borders there. Now, to calculate our balance owed, we're going to deduct the amount of money that was paid from the actual school fee that is due. So we're going to select the cell for the school fee due, and we're going to subtract the amount of money that the person is actually paid. Press the enter key so we get the balance owed, and we're going to be selecting the fill handle so that we can autofill our data. So we autofill, and we want to ensure that we have our balance just the same. We want to extend this column so that we can see the data that is there. Good. So we have the balance owed for each individual. Good. So that one is finished. Let's go back to see what we're to do next. We're to sort the data by payment plan in ascending order, and then by last name in ascending order. So here we're going to be doing a primary and a secondary sort. Now you want to select all the columns. So we want to select all the columns except for our totals, and we're going to select our sort. So we're going to be selecting custom sort here, and we're going to choose the first sort. It says by payment plan. So we're going to select payment plan, and ascending order is from A to Z. So that's correct. Then we're going to add another level so that we can do our secondary sort. So let's add another level. So we're going to be selecting last name because we are to sort by last name and in ascending order. So here I have my ascending order, and I'm going to select OK. So now my data is sorted in payment plan and then by last name. Okay, so I have completed my sort. Let's see what else needs to be done. In another section of the spreadsheet, we are going to use complex criteria to extract all data of persons who opted for by payment and try payment methods. Now, so let's do this. Here we want to go to a new sheet, and I'm going to select sheet number 2, and I'm going to name it extract extracted data. Good. Now I'm going to collect all the data from this sheet and place it here so that I can do my extraction. So I'm gonna go here and let me just leave a line out. So I'm going to click on equal. So I'm gonna select the equal. Then I'm going to go to my task sheet, select the first cell, hit the enter key, come back across. I'm going to use my fill handle to pull and fill all the data. So we've gone too far, so I'm going to use my fill handle to pull it up back a little, and then I'm going to use my fill handle to fill the data going down. So we have 42 students. Good. So we should be at 45. Awesome. Right, so we can just take out these here. So we have all the data from our task A. So we have it in our extracted data sheet, and I just want to make sure that this is formatted properly. Right, so I'm going to put back in. I'm going to change the style of the text. I want to make it fun, so I'm going to go to times, new one, and I'm going to go to font size 12, right? And I want to make sure that my columns are okay. So I want to just auto-fit column. So I'm going to just go ahead and select my auto-fit column width here. I want to reformat my fields to currency. So I'm going to go back here, more format. I'm going to say currency, and I want 2 decimal places, and I want it to look like this. Okay, so I'm nice like I used to be. Right, so all of this is good. Right, now so my spreadsheet is really neat. Student ID. I want to go back to putting in my color, so I want to go to that. Good. So now I have collected all the data from task A, right, and I have the data to be extracted. Now we want to ensure that we extract data correctly. Now we're asked to use criteria, and the criteria we're going to be using is all persons who opted for by payment and try payment methods. Good. So I want to go back to my spreadsheet, and I want to just collect my labels to make it much easier. We're going to be doing an advanced filter. So I'm going to select my labels. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste here, and here I want to paste values. So I'm going to paste values. Good. Now, in order to select your criteria, you must insert the fields that you're going to be searching for, or the data you're going to be searching for here. Now, both criteria fall under the same heading, which is payment plan, and we're looking for try payment, and I'm copying and pasting because I want to ensure that the data is written in the same format. Now, if you find it easier to type it in, that is quite okay. If you find it easier to type it in, then that is quite okay. Good. So here I have my criteria for my filter. Now I'm gonna filter in place, right? So I'm gonna select all the fields that I need to do my filter on. So I want to select all the data, and I've selected all the data. Now I want to do an advanced filter. Here's a filter, but that's not the filter I want to do. I want to do an advanced filter where I use both criteria, which is in this table here. So now I need to select data, because this is where I will find my advanced filter. You notice this toolbox says sort and filter. So I want to do an advanced filter. So I select advanced filter, and this navigation pane comes up. Now I want to filter the list in place because I have this list already in task A. So all I want for this sheet is the extracted data. Now it lists the range of cells that I have selected. So that's from A2, and it starts at A2 and it goes down to L45. And you notice too that it made those cells absolute. That means the filter will only take place in the areas that I have selected. Now I want to select this collapse here so that I'm able to go and select where the filter is going to be taking place. And now you want to make sure that you select all the rows and all the columns, because that's what you want the filter to contain, the same headings, right, and these two criteria. So then I'm going to click back my fill handle to go back. And now I'm not copying to anywhere, so I'll leave that because I'm filtering in place. So I select OK. Now you see all the data represents by payment and the try payment methods. All the data represents the by payment and the try payment methods. Good. So my filter is done nice and clean, and I have all the data that I need. Good. So all my payment plans are by payment and try payment. So what my filtering did was to eliminate those persons who paid in full. Good. So let's save what we have so far. Let's now look at what we are to do next. Here it says we are to create a summary table to show total males, total females, the total number of students, total payments received, total amount owed, amount maximum owed, minimum owed, and average payments received. So here I'm going to do another sheet. Now it is okay if you want to do your summary table here, but for me I like when my spreadsheet is nice and you're able to follow my data. So I want to rename sheet 3 my summary. So I want to call it summary. Good. And I want to call it summary of data for on a mission high school good. So let's go back to what we need. So the first thing they ask you for is total number of males. Here, and I want to insert a column. I want to put in some heading. So I'm going to say item and value. So good, very nice and neat. All right, we now need to find the total number of males that are in our spreadsheet. So on the gender, is where we're going to find our males and females. Good. Now, in order to do this, we must use a function, and the function we're going to be using is called COUNTIF. Now, we know that all our functions start with the equal sign, and it has the words COUNTIF. So here we have COUNTIF, so I want to double click, and I want to count. The first thing, I want to select the range, and then I want to select the criteria. So I'm going to go to task A, and I'm going to select all the genders here. Good. So I have my range, and then I now need my criteria, and to separate these I'm going to use the comma, and that tells me I know I need to tell my function that I am looking for male in open and close quotations, so I am looking for males only. Good. So I'm going to hit the enter key, and it should return the number of males that are in my database, my spreadsheet rather. And I want to do the same thing for females. I want to count the number of females, so I'm going to use a similar formula to do that. So I'm going to double click on COUNTIF. I'm going to go to task A, and I'm going to select all the gender. So this is the range of cells that I want to look through to find only females. I want you to check this range of cells for this value, and remember, you must type the value, the criteria, the exact same way you have it in your table. So I want to check this range of cells here for females only. Now it gives me the number of females I want. Now I want to find the total number of students. So here I'm just going to use a simple count formula, and I'm gonna use count A to do that. So I want to select count A, I want to go to task A, and I can use any of these fields, names, any of these fields. So I'm going to use the ID field to do that. So I'm going to select all the cells in this, on that field. I'm going to close my brackets, and I'm going to press enter, and it tells me that I have 42 students in my spreadsheet. I now want to look at my total payments received, and this is a simple linking of the sheets. So I want to link the total, so I'm going to press the equal sign. I'm going to go to task A, and I'm going to find what represents the amount of money that I have received, and this is school fee paid. So that's the amount of money I have received. So I'm going to select the total school fee paid, and I'm going to press my enter key, and the information comes over. I want to do the same thing to my balance, so I'm going to press the equal sign. I'm going to go to task A, and this field here represents the amount of money owed, and so I'm going to go down to the total, and I'm going to select this total, press the enter key, and I have the value of the payment of the amount of money owed. Now I want to check the maximum amount of money that I received, and this we're going to be using the maximum formula. So it's equal max, never maximum. You can just double click here, you go to task A once again, and I'm going to select, it says the maximum paid, so I'm going to use school fee paid, and I'm going to click here and then select all the cells going down, to the final payment I received, and then I want to close my braces, and then I want to press the enter key, and it tells me the maximum amount of money that was paid by any student. To do our minimum, we use the min formula. Double click. I want to go to my task A, and I want to find the minimum value that was paid. So I'm going to select all my cells, click, close my braces, press the enter key, and I have the minimum value that was paid. The final thing I want to do is the average payment received, and I'm going to use the average formula to do this. Now remember, average, you type average out altogether, and then I'm going to select task A, and I want to select all the cells again, going down because I want the average. I'm going to click here, close my braces, press the enter key, and I have the average payment. Now I want to format these values. I want them to be 2 decimal places, and because they're currency, I want to just make sure that they all look the same. I want to put my dollar sign there. Want it like that. I want 2 decimal places, so I'm going to select OK. So all of this is nice and neat. So I want to make sure that I format my data, and I want to change all of that. I want to make it uniform, so I'm going to use style of text times New Roman. The font size should be 12, and I want to ensure that I have enough spaces in these cells. I want to make the headings bold. I want to put it in green background. I want to spread this data across both tables, so I'm going to select merge and center. I'm going to make them bold, and my summary sheet is finished. Let's see what else we need to do now. So payment 2 is complete. So I want to ensure that I save, and payment 2 is complete. Next time we will look at payment number 3. That would be reflected in task B. So I have my sheet still intact, my extracted data, my summary sheets, and I am good to go.